Nicola Cornu. I'm an option A supporter, and I'm going to be voting for option A, just putting my single number 1 in that top ballot. The reason I'm supporting option A is because I believe in a free and fair votes, regardless of wherever you live in the island. Everyone should have the same number of votes, and that vote should carry the same weight. I'd like to give you an example of why option A is important, and I'm going to give you an historical example of what a gerrymandered political system looks like, an unfair electoral system, and that was the situation in 1886 in Jersey. Now, in 1886, the Constable of St Helier petitioned the Privy Council to have more representation for the parish of St Helier, because it was underrepresented. And I want to give you the historical example of how terribly it was underrepresented. At that date, the 1881 census had revealed that St Helier had 28,000 people living in it. In the other 11 rural parishes, and they were genuinely rural, they weren't urban, they had very low populations, there were 23,000 people. So St Helier has 28, and the other rural parishes have 23,000. The majority of people actually living in St Helier. But that didn't reflect the political representation. St Helier had 5 representatives. They had the Dean, the rector of St Helier, this parish church. They had the constable, and they had 3 deputies. And the deputies had been introduced in 1856 to give better representation island-wide. Now, the other 11 rural parishes at that time in the States, they had, wait for it, 33 representatives. St Helier had 5, and the other parishes 33. So you can see that even though they have an inferior number of the population, in fact they've got the majority of votes, and it explains why there's a big town-country divide. And that still exists in Jersey, effectively, by having these constituencies based on small parishes. Option A will remove that. There will be no small parish vote. In fact, everyone will be aligned together. There will be these 6 new electoral districts with between 11 and 14,000 people in each district. There will be 7 deputies elected in each of those districts. Everyone will effectively have the same voter weight. That's the important thing about option A. Option B doesn't offer that. It completely skews the whole equality issue. There will not be equality if you vote for option B. Only option A can achieve it. Now, if the constables don't sit in the states anymore automatically, that's all that's happening. The constables remain in their parishes, and they can stand for election as these new deputies. There will be a different kind of much more democratic states. If under option B the constables are retained, it'll give them, the constables, an overwhelming vote, a block vote effectively, for no change generally in terms of policies and politics within the island. However, if it is option A, where everyone's fair and equal, there will be an opportunity for the real democratic expression of the people's will. Because at the moment 60% don't vote, and the reason they don't vote is because they believe that change is not possible, that their votes are not they don't have the weight to change things. And it's right, because the urban areas, St Brelard, St Clement and St Helier and St Saviour's, are underrepresented. But under option A, it will be fair and equal. All districts will be the same. It doesn't matter where you live in the island, you will have the same vote. Option A is the only democratic option on the table, and that's why you should be voting for option A. Thank you very much.